All right, Christopher, thank you so much for joining us today. You are doing some really important work helping to address sort of the shortages in the clinical trial workforce, but specifically also the shortage in diversity. So not just straight up numbers, but the diversity issue. So if you could talk about what you're up to, you're doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a really exciting program. I'm happy to have a chance to talk about it. It actually started in 2020, late 2019, early 2020. We decided that we wanted to do a program with a local high school that's been a great partner. And we were going to bring two students on to work in our department, sort of, get hands-on experience. Had a lot of obstacles to overcome, a lot of logistics, and got everything squared away. I think it was March 10th, 2020, where we got the green light to go ahead. And then March 13th, the whole world shut down. So that program that didn't work out, but we didn't want to lose the relationship with the school. Schools were pivoting to being online or virtual. So we came up with the idea to do a speaker series. So we had a number of research professionals come in and talk about their career. And the idea was that it was across the board. So these were data managers, some marketing professionals that work in clinical trials, our program managers, project managers, CRCs, really to show all the different career paths that were available to people. We did that for a while and it was great. But it was sort of a one-way conversation. So then to expand the program, we started to layer in other pieces of it. And what we did is we made an interactive piece where we partnered with our COE team, that's the Community Outreach and Education Group within Jefferson, where we were able to have a health fair at the end of the program. So it's a 12-week program. 12 individuals come in, kind of talk about their career experience. They network with the students. They provide their contact information. So when these students eventually are looking for careers, they can ping those people and, sort of have an in already at Jefferson. The health fair at the end, the students drive that health fair. The students are responsible for sort of everything that goes into that. And then we pair it with our van. We have a cancer screening van that will come out to locations and provide different types of screening for people who might not otherwise be able to make it into the hospital. So that worked really well. And so we've kind of crafted this program with three goals. And the one goal is obviously we want to create a pathway for students. And the initial school that we started with has an allied health program where they're training students who have an interest in either nursing or pharmacy. So we think that those students might eventually find their way into clinical trials anyway, but we're just sort of planting the seed earlier. It's a technical school, so they have a vocational school such as automotive or culinary, and then so we're focusing on that piece. We've now added a second school, very similar program, and then hopefully the goal would be to get to all 13 schools in the Philadelphia area that have this type of program. So that's number one, show them what the careers look like, personal experience, make those connections. The second piece of it is we really want to highlight the importance of the public's role in clinical trials. So generally, the public has no idea how important they are to the success of trials. And you know this, if no participants, no studies. It's just that simple.
Right. Absolutely.
And also, there's a lot of misinformation, right? There's a lot of misinformation about clinical trials, about what they mean, what people might, their intentions. And I go out a lot. I speak often about the topic, and people are very gracious. They're very accommodating. They'll listen to me. But it is not the same if I go out into the community and talk as if your cousin or your uncle or your neighbor tells you that. So these students, they know us, right? So someone can say, oh, don't go to, that place. You'll be a guinea pig. And they can say, I know a little bit about this, and that's not actually true. So they will be informed consumers as they grow up into adults. If they're presented with a trial, they might say yes or they might say no, but they'll understand what's being asked of them and they can make that decision. But they can also act as informed community members, educating the public. And I think really that is how you get to a paradigm shift in the way that people look at clinical trials. You go down to the younger grades, even middle school maybe, and you educate people so that they understand. And then lastly, The third piece is that living in Philadelphia, getting into oncology research a few years back, I learned that Philadelphia has one of the highest rates of late-stage cancer deaths in the country. And that is because one of the reasons being that people sometimes can't or choose not to, for a variety of different reasons, make it in to get screened for cancer. They have something going on, something unusual, and maybe they have to delay it because they work 2 jobs and can't make a doctor's appointment, or they live too far away from a location, any number of reasons. And it gets to the point where it's really hard to have a positive outcome. And I think we can change that. I think fundamentally, more education around that. And I mentioned that cancer screening bus, which is, the amazing work that the COE team, as part of the Cancer Center, that they do. They'll go out into the community, and people can sign up. And I think it's head and neck screening, breast cancer screening, so mobile mammography, prostate screening, and melanoma screening. I think they've added, and they've continued that. They started out, it was the mobile mammography at first, and then they've layered other things into it as they continue to evolve the program. So that is that third piece. And like I said, we started out with a school that's relatively close. So geographically, Jefferson is a large health system. And so my office is located in Center City. We were just adjacent to that with that first school. So just maybe a 10-15 minute drive over to that school. So, but we also have campuses in Northeast Philadelphia, which is further out. And we have a school out there. One of the schools is right out by there. So we've leveraged that location to support that school. We've talked to another school where they have a summer program that they offer their students. And they've talked about us layering into that program so that we can spread out the work that we do across the entire year rather than confining it to that school year.